Hi everyone, McBeard here, back with another deck guide. I've been doing a lot of tournament prep right now, but I wanted to take a break and show this deck to you, one of my favorites right now. I'm really enjoying playing John Calveit, a Dashgaard build, a very high-tempo John Calveit build right now that utilizes pikemen, golems, and you know, some of the other stuff that you might expect, alchemists and foot soldiers. A fairly standard list, but I find that it's been pretty good, fairly competitive actually. I've been doing the 4K float, I've been calling it. I've really just been trying to just play any deck that I feel like is fun, unranked, and when the end of the season is called, we'll see how that changes. But for now, I'm really loving this Nilfgaard list. Would love to show it to you. Let's take a look. All right, so my variant on Dashgaard or Tempo Calveit, I mean, it is a little bit of both because it is a Siri Dash deck. You guys know how I do like Siri Dash. You know, I do like Siri Dash. I use Siri Dash a lot. Why don't I have Siri Dash Premium? Let's fix that. Let's fix that right now. How can a guy make so many Siri Dash decks and not have Siri Dash Premium? I mean, really? Really now? Okay, we can start the video now. And we're back in style. So like I said, Siri Dash deck. One of my favorite cards because it really allows you to run a thin deck and give you fairly reliable chances of drawing high gold strength in round 3, where it's very, very important to have that gold strength. So I do like Siri Dash so much that I did craft the premium. So let's talk about how we get there, how Siri Dash kind of works in, because Siri Dash isn't really the centerpiece to this deck, but is, you know, a big piece. I mean, there's not really a centerpiece here because it is a 3-round game, of course. So Siri Dash helps you in round 1, being a 9-strength play. Very good, as is Olgierd. But let's just start off here with the golems. So let's go one at a time here. So the golems, everybody knows these. If you played Nilfgaard, you know that the golems have been a pretty hot topic, been subject of nerfs and mechanics changes behind John Calveit, but right now feels pretty good. You play John Calveit, you get your golems, and then you can pick your card with John Calveit. So you don't necessarily want to play John Calveit first to get your golems out, because the Alba Pikemen is the other card I want to talk to you about. The Alba Pikemen will get themselves out of the deck. If you're familiar with some of the closed beta stuff with old Reaver Hunters, they function very much in that same way. They count down and then they pull the next one out of the deck. Muster, muster, muster. They have 2 armor, which is fantastic, makes them a little bit more resilient. So that's very good. So you can likely count on these guys coming out. So once you have 2 of them out, that's usually when I would probably play John Calveit. The Alchemists are such a core part of this deck because they contribute to thinning and very high tempo play. So the Alchemist reveals a card. Usually the only card you're going to be revealing is the Darlan Foot Soldier, which would then play itself and then draw you a card. So you get nice cycle, you get thinning, you get 12 points. Very, very great combo right now. If you don't have a Darlan Foot Soldiers to reveal, you just peep your opponent's hand. You just take a look at what they're working with. You know, it works anyway. Alchemist is still an 8-point play. In clutch situations, should still be okay, but you really want to do the cycling with the Foot Soldiers as much as you possibly can. Nilfgaardian Knight is a one-of in this case, in that, you know, it's really good to have a high-strength bronze that's around. It's just kind of good to always have that option. When you're holding it, you know that's the only one you have, and, you know, in a thin deck, it's very good to kind of keep track of your cards at all times, if you're not using a tracker in some cases. By the way, we're not using a tracker in this video. I got to get better at that. Better at playing without a tracker, that is. But the Nilfgaardian Knight, the reason why I'm talking about it now after the Foot Soldiers is that you will see that sometimes when your hand has gold cards, a Nilfgaardian Knight, and a Darlan Foot Soldier, that can happen. Nilfgaardian Knight will reveal the Foot Soldier, which will actually draw you a card, which is fantastic. So having that be kind of a backup 14-point play very late in the game is very good. Nilfgaardian Knight, 10 strength bronze generally is very good to begin with. But it's just good, that little extra reveal, that little extra chance to make use of the Darlan Foot Soldier, which really stinks when you can't, let's be honest. The pikemen, when they're alone, not very good. Same with the Foot Soldiers. So your mulligan is getting these away. You don't want, you want one of these, you want none of these, and you want to alchemist these, basically. So all of these cards kind of help you to the greater good of thinning. You have your Nausicaa Standard Bearers to fight weather on the ladder. If there's no weather, these are flex. I like them as well because they stagger the alchemists on the row, so you can't get ignied. Very useful in most matchups anyway. If not for that, then for the weather, of course. Let's talk about the silvers. So Peter Sargwenlev is an amazing card. Deletes Neckers, hurts Reaver Hunters late, resets Pirate Captains, deletes Ekamara, And these are just things that I'm just pulling off the top of my head. Anything that is boosted or anything that is really, really damaged, sometimes restoring Olgierd back up to a 9 and then ultimately to a 12. If he's like on the last legs, sometimes that's a huge swing that you can probably make great use of. And one of the many cards in this deck that are great with the decoy. So replaying Peter, having 2 Peters available and around is fantastic. Phrasing. But also having 2 Ox is very good as well. Ox, double lock, very, very useful being able to lock 2 units. You let your opponent be greedy sometimes. They'll play 2 long ships. They'll play 2 Arrakis Behemoth, You get that double lock on them. So, punish the greed, but, when you have a chance to lock 2 high priority targets, or even 1 high priority and 1 low priority target, or even unlock a pikeman. Also very useful as well. Ox will get the job done. Having a decoy ready with Ox is really useful, especially if you're up against a deck like Consume or something that has like a lot of effects that you can shut down. Decoy, of course, play a lot of these great cards twice. Again, like Vanamar is a great card right now. An extra Weather Clear is great for the ladder right now. The Stammelfords is still pretty strong, and sometimes the Frost will get you more value in a long round. So using Vanamar, I think Vanamar is really good. This used to be Joachim de Wet, or Joaquin Phoenix, as I call him on stream. I found that he was just too hard to play with pikemen and foot soldiers. Like, I didn't want to ever pull these, and I didn't want to wait. And, I didn't want to pull these either sometimes. Like, I felt like Vanamar is going to do more for me in this particular meta. And Cantarella, of course, your card draw spot. Use it for card advantage when you can in a round that you don't have to win, or perhaps to counter your opponent's spy play on top of that. You can also set up an Igni. Sometimes it helps to be able to do that as well. So, Igni, of course. What do you say about Igni? Burn it all down. I was recording the gameplay for this video, and I had a great Igni. So good, I'm going to show it to you. I'm just going to show it to you right now. But I lost this game because Henselt is super strong. Igni can be really, really good in the meta right now, especially if you can line things up with Ox, doing that 1 point of damage in the case of that little highlight. But that game isn't the highlight. That's the highlight of that game. Temerian Infantrymen and then Reaver Hunters round 2 and 3 was my end in that particular game. What do you say? K here helps you thin. K here into Alchemist into Foot Soldiers, a fantastic 16-point play. Really, really strong. Tibor is, always doing Tibor things. Generally, just really good to have at the end of the game. He's still doing what he's doing, a 23-point gold card that draws your opponent a card that's not nearly worth the 15-point gold strength you give it. If you're drawing your opponent the answer, then you were forced to do that. Sometimes you just play Tibor for 8 late, and it's good. Great, even at 8. And then, of course, Siri Dash, what we talked about, how we led this off. So this is the deck. Olgierd as well. I forgot to talk about Olgierd. Carryover is great. What do you say? 9-point play. Carryover is fantastic. Generally, just a good card to have in most decks right now. I have been enjoying playing Olgierd, and he's really great to pull out of Cahir and Calveit. So let's check out a game, and we'll see how we do.
The gate must be secure.
Onward, sons of Nilfgaard!
Consume, okay. Consume. So let's see how we can handle this one here. So we are kind of in the 4K floaty range, although I just got crushed by Henselt, who just knocked me down a peg. So I think when you're trying to make this video and you get like one of the strongest decks. That Kidweni round 1, Temerian Infantry round 2, Reaver Hunters round 3. Doesn't matter how good. Doesn't matter how good you played. I really don't think so. When the draw goes really well, it's really tough to beat that particular matchup. We blacklisted the 2 cards we want to blacklist all the time. I don't think the Nazgul Standard Bearer will be all that great. The coin has been nice to us this round, so we get to react. I mean, getting Ox would be preferred, because we know we're going to get Behemoths up here, I'm pretty sure. Or Harpies, but I mean, Ox is really for the Behemoths in my opinion. Lead off Crones with Crone in hand. I mean, we could end up seeing like Pikeman. Oh, he doesn't like that I play slow. That's cute. I take my time, see? I want to talk to my YouTube family, okay? I have a feeling that this is going to be a pass or something. There's something really peculiar about this. Not just the fact that he's playing the Crones like this, but I'm going to risk drawing terribly into Calveit to see if it's because I need to get a little closer than just playing the pikeman.
I forgive you. This time.
Really rough.
No one can hide from me.
But I'll definitely take Ox. But that is bad. That's pretty bad. Now he's definitely going to pass here, right? Definitely going to pass here. So we would need a 16-point play. What did we see from Calveit? We saw a decoy, and we saw Ox, which we have now. So what K here is going to show us is 2 additional cards because we saw Cantarella as well. So K here could show us an Alchemist. Unlikely because we're holding 2. But he could show us an Alchemist, which would be enough to actually overtake the score. Just enough.
I sense your pain. I see your fear.
I was hoping he would play that. Now we can play, since we're up 2 cards now, we can play very conservatively. So we can just play the Pikeman now and then start building up our tempo again with Alchemist perhaps. And if he passes, then we might just go for K here to see if we can find... it's probably just going to be a Nausicaa Standard Bearer, Pikeman, or another Alchemist, or a Foot Soldier. Like, it could be bad. It could be kind of rotten when we see it. But we can play very conservatively because we're at 2 cards ahead. So the Pikeman, I think, is okay here because it's important we get these out. K here into an Alchemist would be perfect. We just don't know what K here is going to show us. Passing is, this guy's just not interested in passing, I see. Not interested. So no Igni to really punish. I mean, Ox might help us if there's like... So there's 1 Ox target. But he's allowing us the ability to come back here, which is very kind of him. I think we'll play Alchemist because we know we're drawing Decoy, right? Or Gold, or Igni. It could be Igni, but I'm pretty sure it's Decoy. Playing Olgierd is pretty important, though. I wonder if he has a second Behemoth. Would he be so greedy?
The moment.
Would he be so greedy to play a second Behemoth right now? Well, he did give me 2 lock targets, I would say.
Yes.
It's a pretty low tempo play, though, at this point. If only I could take care of that Fran. If only Peter was there. I think we're going to keep playing here.
Greetings.
We'll cycle.
What is it?
So you reveal the Footman, cycle a card, Siri Dash. Okay.
Off to the front yet again.
A second Behemoth is absolutely I think we would have to Ox it or consider passing. 2 cards up. But if we can like, the thought of getting ahead is so good. The thought of getting ahead with 2 cards up is I mean, it's not 100% victory, but it would feel pretty good. Yeah, I think I'm actually going to play Ox here.
There is no escape.
Now, we're going to get Decoy from K here. That's going to be one of the choices, guaranteed, as we close into only being 11 points behind after giving our opponent Cantarella. And this guy not respecting any Igni I may have, which I do have in my deck, but he's not... No respect at all. Not even trying to save the 21-point Vran. I could destroy him here. So I think maybe I'll just replay Ox now with the Decoy that I'm going to get from K here. I mean, it's still kind of low tempo, but again, look at the card difference here. I think it's worth it. I think stymieing all of his efforts in this round when he has to win it just makes sure that we can actually keep this in reach enough that we can take it and still stay up a card. So good.
I shall do what I must.
Yeah, Decoy's the one we would want anyway, right?
Who is to die?
Now it's really in reach. And Elder here is only a 5-point play.
Nat's ties make tower.
We're gonna force him to play everything he has here, and we'll still end up with cards, I think. Stammelford's is decent, right? Stammelford's getting us that 15-point play with Vanamar is actually very strong right now. Siri Dash actually puts us ahead. I think the 15-point play of Vanamar is our ultimate reach. But a 15-point play, I mean, like Siri Dash is important to get out, I would say. I think we'll be even more in a prime position to play the big play after Siri Dash. Let's play Siri Dash now. We'll keep the best possible Ignia at this Alchemist here in case our opponent is running it. Now we're tied. So now his play has to outmatch the 15-point play that I will use. The Lacerate's very good. The Lacerate's very good. The Lacerate, now I have to Vanamar to tie, if I'm not mistaken. Although one of the points can be absorbed. It really could end up being 14 points. I do need the 15 points. At this point, I think if I can't overtake him, I shouldn't play. So we'll take our 2 cards and go home. No carryover, at least. All of that was thwarted.
I'm in no mood for jests.
We are the ones with carryover, so we can't be completely freezing cold passed on. We also have an Alchemist and a Foot Soldier, which is fantastic. The Nausicaa Standard Bearer is probably the worst thing in here. We might just end up drawing it after, but I think just to improve the quality here, another Foot Soldier. It's pretty good considering the Nilfgaardian Knight's probably going to reveal it. I can actually make that actually occur, I suppose. This is going to be a little bit of a problem, isn't it? For next round. But we're just, as long as we can stay ahead, we should be okay. I mean, it's going to be difficult. I mean, the Grave Hag isn't so big. It's only 13 cards in the graveyard, so it wasn't even so bad because we shut down the Vrans, we shut down the Behemoth. He limped out his Crones, which is a huge help. The Cantarella was rough, but I think it's ultimately going to pay off here. I would play the Standard Bearer, and I'll probably play Vanamar if I absolutely have to. And then the Nilfgaardian Knight will reveal and play the Footman in this case. Now, what would he see? This is only that was the Alchemist. Okay, so we won't get an Alchemist. That's probably fine. So we are gonna cycle one more card. We'll have 2 cards left in the deck, which means that when Siri Dash goes back in, it's not a sure thing that we get her, but it's almost a sure thing. This being only 7 is not enough for us right now. We need something like the Nilfgaardian Knight right now, though. Or we play Siri Dash. I feel like it's safer to play Siri Dash knowing what the Nilfgaardian Knight can do for us later.
Ho ho, I sense trouble.
And just hope that he doesn't have a play quite like that Regis play that just occurred. The 14-point play is would hurt us. It would hurt us. Vanamar isn't nearly getting as much value as he was going to before, but it is Vanamar. He'll find a way. As long as we can, if we can stay ahead with 7, I'm pleased. And I will throw Vanamar. Oh, wow. Succubus. How interesting. Now, how am I going to play this? So that represents 16 points as of now. Slightly troubling. Especially considering Vanamar is just not going to be so great here. Stammelford is going to get, what, 4? 6 maybe? If it's enough, I'll play it. Does she trigger after the pass, though? Am I going to get bamboozled here? 15 points separate us right now. But 16 of that is really... I lose the 8, he gains the 8, so that's 16. So is she triggering after the pass, though? Like, I know that that's a thing that isn't... I don't think that was ever fixed. I know Priscilla still does it. Priscilla still ticks after the pass. It looks like he's not even going for it. He's just going... Oh, all Stammelford's now for sure, right? 100% to kill the Grave Hag. I guess he was thinking that the only way he wins... Like, the only way he wins is if he pushes me here. So this will probably do it, right? Yeah. That's the game, folks. I would be struggling to understand how I can list this one. Now that the Crones and the Grave Hag are out. I wonder what his last card was. I mean, being down these kinds of cards right now at this state of the game, you have to go all in, right? You have to go all in. Why wouldn't you eat the Necker, though? I guess he needs the carryover to be sure. He probably just wants the carryover to be sure, then. It's going to be a lot of carryover. Actually, I guess I was struggling to figure out how I would lose this, but I am in tough. It is tough here, right? All right. We never did see Peter, did we? We never did see Peter Sargwenlev, did we? Or did we? If we draw him, I think we're going to be okay. But we do have to draw him or mulligan into him. The fact that we didn't draw him now means that Siri Dash, like, is... Well, Peter's more valuable, arguably. The Grave Hag really threw me off. Really made me feel good about my position after I got to kill the Grave Hag. There's Peter. And we mulligan into Siri Dash, hopefully, from here. Geralt Igni. Don't think I'm going to have a play there. Unless I'm really lucky and he drew... well, he has no more Neckers. Unless he has something row-locked to this row, like Catacan. It needs to be Catacan, right? So, the bigger threat is the Necker growing, but only 1 card left, so he can only play 1 more Consume effect, so it's really the same thing. Peter evaporates whatever he touches, so... But I think Igni is dead here, unfortunately. Nazca Standard Bearer and Ciri Dash still in the deck.
I strive above all to be just.
Wow, he is allowing me to play Igni. That's fantastic. Now, I may not even have to trigger Tibor at all. I don't have to trigger Tibor at all, right? So Geralt's 19 right here, and I need 20, so Tibor is an 8, so we're fine.
Damn it.
The Rollock Katakan ends up sinking him. I was scared there for a second when I saw the Ekamara and the Necker coming back for me.
Long live the Emperor!
Show no quarter, right? Go, Tibor, go. That ended up being closer than I thought. Oh, intense ending there. Intense ending. I'll take it. And cut. Excellent. Good game to my opponent. I hope I didn't just final boss him. Because I did dip a little bit below 4K in the past few days. Because I've been playing a lot of this Calveit deck. And, you know, it wins, it loses. But if I'm going to charge into a sea of monsters, I want to have fun. And right now I'm having a lot of fun with this Calveit deck. It's really good. I think it's, the standard bearers can be swapped out if you aren't expecting there to be weather, such as like in a tournament situation. Standard bearers can be swapped out for stuff like Lacerate and Thunder and other like really high value cards in situations where you don't, know that clearing weather is very, very beneficial. And I'm running K here right now, and K here I think is very underappreciated. So with Ciri Dash, it makes a lot of sense, and especially when you know what he's going to pull you, like you know what the possibilities are. So K here into Alchemist into Darlin Foot Soldier, 16-point play, so good. Big fan of that particular combo at the moment. So when you can make that work, it's really good. And I don't know, like I just really like this deck right now. I've really been enjoying playing Nilfgaard because, Nilfgaard is, it's kind of the indie faction right now. They're good, but, you don't see them at the top, right? Dagon, Bran, and Ethna are all hanging out there. I think it's really just Dagon and Bran right now. They're always duking it out. It's a battle of the Titans. But, if you want to take a break from all that stuff, whip up a Nilfgaard deck. Check this one out. It's pretty good, in my opinion. Thanks so much for watching. Hope you have a fantastic day, and I'll see you probably, if it's not in another video, it'll be in a travel vlog, so stay tuned for that, because I'm going to Vienna. Take care, everybody.